Okay, we're gonna try this a second time. We are broadcasting today from Michigan, so we're hoping that the hotel Wi-Fi is good enough. We're here for our cousin's wedding, so I will introduce my little sister here again, who's guest starred with me before on these Friday segments for Inside 8. And I brought her on today because we're talking about taking risks, and I talk about my experience a lot as a Nourisher, but she is a Harmonizer. And so I thought she might be a really good person to talk about, especially because she's been taking some risks in her life lately. My sister is a professional athlete. She is a professional long driver, which technically I can claim that as well, as I was just saying. But she's also a professional golfer, social media icon, workout guru. I think she's a lot.
I covered up the guns with the shirt today.
Yeah, good. Don't want to make me.
I don't know if they're legal here in Michigan.
Yeah. So, in August, we talked last week about taking risks, and I've been thinking about that a lot over this past week. I've been.
She thinks a lot.
Yeah. Well, I have especially this past week been thinking a lot. I've been working on my dissertation proposal, trying to get comps ready. I'm getting ready to apply to internship in my program, and so I've been doing a lot of things. What are you thinking?
That's all. She does a lot of things, mostly in her head, but yeah.
That's true.
No, we're all real proud of her. I just hit the ball really far, so.
That's true. Yeah, so I've been, it's hard sometimes when you're so busy, you get wrapped up of I have to be doing something all the time, and sometimes it's hard to take a step back and take a break. I know for me, I talk about listening to podcasts a lot, so I have a lot of commuting time, so I'll download podcasts or audiobooks and I'll listen to them on my commute. So that's for me a really great way of kind of keeping my mind active instead of just vegging out for the drive, or at least that's what I was thinking. And this past week I've just been in so much stress and like oh my gosh, I can't do it all. I've turned off the audiobooks, I've turned off the podcast, and just put on some loud music and dance the whole way to work. And I can't tell you.
It's great if you catch her at a red light. It's awesome.
That's true. This is really true. I actually today in the plane, I was dancing. I caught myself dancing, listening to music, and probably the person behind me was like, "What is this person doing?" Because my seat was rocking.
Oh, we saw it. It was across the aisle, thankfully.
Yeah. So for me, a huge risk almost. It sounds kind of weird. A risk for me was turning on music in my commute, because I was turning off the educational stuff or the learning stuff, or turning off my brain for 20 minutes. And it was a risk, and it paid off so massively for me. So
she's much happier right now than usual.
Because I've been under a lot of pressure this week. But I know you've taken some big risks lately. Do you want to talk about some of those?
One of the big things, I just signed up for the World Championships this morning. To go to Thackerville, Oklahoma, which is just a phenomenal place. That is not a risk in itself, but the World Championships is big. The entry fee is steep, and you need to be able to do well to be able to want to go. And it took me, the deadline was 9 a.m. I signed up at 7:45, so I definitely waited till the last minute because I just couldn't commit to it, and I finally did. And a lot of that is because of my new coach, who was a risk in himself. I knew I needed someone new, and I needed something that was going to be good for me. We were talking before we went on that you're the best person to know what's best for yourself, but a lot of times, I think it's being the harmonizer. I just want everyone else to be happy, if I can. And so when people come up to me, trainers, coaches, whatever, I'm like, yeah, sure, coach me. That's what you want to do. It's going to make you happy, and it's not going to hurt me. So I've never really done. It's taken me a long time to find a coach that is what I really want, and what I think was better for me than it was for him, rather than the other way around. And I think being the harmonizer, that I needed to take that risk to put myself first rather than a coach's career, which was huge for me.
Yeah, I think that takes a lot of vulnerability. When you look at your results as a harmonizer, it's all about when you're at your worst, appeasing others, making other people happy, or accepting sort of just kind of going along with things, trying to maintain balance.
Yeah.
And yet it's a huge step to really accept you needed to
we'll see how it pays off.
No, but it is a big step to say, I'm going to do something for myself, not to help somebody else out. Like, I need to commit to doing something for me.
Yeah, and hopefully in the future it's going to pay off for both of us, but right now this is who I needed. Right. And it was a decision for me and for my golf game. And for my long drive swing, totally different, by the way. Great long driver, not a good golfer.
No.
I can do both. But it's different. But in choosing this coach, and then it's really paid off for me in the past couple weeks. He's, like you say, you listen to the podcast and stuff. I go to the golf course, I go home, and then I go back to the golf course because, one, because that's what I need right now, and two, because that's what this coach is making me do. He's like, all right, I'll see you in a couple hours. And it's like, I've never had that. I've never had that coach need that from me. And it's been great. This risk, I think it's going to pay off for me.
Well, it's that commitment piece, too. Like, you have somebody committed to you, and you're committed to him, not because you're doing a favor for him being his athlete. Like, you are committing to, like, doing the work he's asking you to do.
I think so, and I think it's real good. My commitment level is never all that great because, again, I want other people to be happy. And if that's, it kind of goes, I just kind of go with the flow until being at my worst and appeasing others, but I also tend to steamroll over people just to make things, like, work. So when I'm able to choose myself first is very rare for me.
Well, I'm sensing a lot of, like, hesitation. Like, I think that this is the right thing. I'm not sure.
It is. Well, you're talking about risk. This is a big risk for me. Most people they're like, oh my gosh, you golf. That's awesome. And they're like, what do you do for a job? No, like, I golf. That's what I do. I do teach on the side and other things to help me be able to follow this dream. But changing your coach and changing your swing and putting the trust of your career into someone, it is a risk for me. I am very hesitant. You see me move around a lot. I'm a little nervous talking about it, nervous doing it. It's still new. Chris is still new into my very small circle of people I trust. And yeah, but it's a big risk for me. It's a big risk for right now. It's a big risk for the World Championships. It's a big risk for my career in the future.
You know, I've been thinking a lot. There's on the Inside 8 blog, I don't know if you read it or not, there's
I've read most of them.
Yeah. There's a really good one, the Jarvis Report. It's kind of one that comes out periodically. It sort of features of professional people. And one was about a chef, and his name is sort of like on the tip of my tongue, like tip of my mind right now. And he talks about sort of following his dream and kind of giving up a lot to sort of follow this to be where he wanted to be. And like, it turned out well for him. He's super successful. He's where he wants to be. And I think, you know, as our generation, I mean, we're very close in age. But I think as our generation, you know, 20-somethings, even 30-somethings, teens, you know, like this age group, you look around and you see these people who have sort of gotten to the place they want to be at. Yes. You know, like, or they're there, or they've maybe, they weren't where they thought they were going to be, but they ended up somewhere good, you know, where they're happy and things like that. And it's really hard to be here. Like, be where you are, see where you want to be, and potentially see where you need to go to get there, and, like, you're not there yet.
Yeah.
You know, that's something that I've been struggling with a lot lately, too. I mean, for me, at least, I know what the path looks like a lot more than you do. Like, I know, like, okay, I have to finish my comps. I have to, like,
yeah, you gotta
finish
step by step.
Yeah, like, I mean, the time frame could be a year or two off, and, you know, but on some level, it's sort of planned for me still. But for you, it's, like, really up in the air.
Yeah, I'm winging it a lot. One of the big things, my buddy, he's going through the same thing as me. He graduated from Oregon State and turned professional, and we're kind of both in that same boat right now. We're both kind of trying to work towards the tour, and something he told me was, you can't compare other people's stage performance to your background, what's happening behind the scenes, because for us, where we are, we have everything. You have all the things that you have to do, and you see people that have done that and are where they want to be, and it just seems so intimidating, and I have no idea what the steps are going to be. But we've talked about that. We see those people who are where they want to be and where I want to be, and it's like, but at the same time, or they're going through what I'm going through, and we're all trying to make it, and it's like, but you gotta do you.
Yeah, it's like that risk of going through the daily grind. Like really, that's kind of what it is. Like you have to just grind until you get there.
Yeah. And
like somehow sort of try to enjoy the path if you can, but like in some ways like enjoy
I'm
the
not
grind.
enjoying those squats from yesterday.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Yeah, and I mean it's hard to sometimes get to that when you're at your best without taking a risk. Like, wouldn't it be so nice if that just like came naturally?
Yeah.
You know, like I'm always at my best. That's great. Like I feel so good. But like, it doesn't happen that way, unfortunately. I know I catch myself at my worst a lot more often, and like, oh man, like, yep, that's coming through.
But you at least acknowledge it. It's huge that you've taken the test and you know what to look for.
Yeah.
You didn't know that 2 years ago, Cor.
Right. That's true.
I mean, I see it from taking the test myself, but from you that you understand it. I took the test and I thought it was crazy until she really explained it to me, and realized how much I fit into the Harmonizer. But she'll do something and you can see her just like it clicks and she's like, dang it. Oh, it totally happens. And you can see you kind of like, what do I do? I'm at this position. Like, what do I do to change where I'm at or what I'm doing to be better?
Yeah. And
I see it with your fiance. I see it with our family who's knocking at the door.
They are knocking. I'm going to go grab them really quick.
And with my sister, she, I see that a lot with the test. Phenomenal.
They didn't listen.
And
no, I really appreciate that though. Like it does take a lot of education. I mean, that's really where it's come from, is like teaching myself those things.
I just take your education and have you tell me what to do.
Well, and that's a piece of it, like learning from other people. Like I didn't learn this in a vacuum. Like I have a really great support system through Inside 8 that really helps me learn about it and helps me grow and helps me see these things. And I learn from talking to other people about what they've gotten from their results. And I've learned from my own experiences and seeing how I interact with people. And I'm like, oh yeah, that makes sense. Like that like it, like those results make sense, or like my life makes sense basically.
And all that time, like I get a suntan and you don't. Like I love that.
I guess that's the key. Like educating yourself.
Education.
Right.
No, but it's also helped me in golf. You know, like acknowledging when I'm at my worst, when I'm not in a good place on the golf course. Like it's helping me in what is becoming my career.
Yeah. And
you can see it in you and what you do, and it's awesome. But I mean, just everything that you do and why you do it is very, I can see there's a reason behind it.
Yeah.
Behind the, just listen to the music, because that's not a risk for most people. That's what we do. That's normal.
Yeah, that makes sense. Oh, my battery is going dead. Well, we are going to get in trouble because Mom's knocking at the door. We have wedding things to do. But I want to thank you for taking a risk and coming on and talking about things that are more vulnerable, like things that, you know, you're sort of letting us all into your circle by telling us about some of the risks you've taken. And I know I really appreciate it, and I'm sure the insiders out there are going to appreciate it as well.
Well, look, Mom just joined. Hey, Mom, now you know what we're doing.
Thanks for interrupting. But thank you for hanging out with us and learning a little bit about what we've learned as nourishers and harmonizers, and how that has sort of influenced our lives and how we've sort of used our results and you know, learn from each other. Because I think that's at the root of it, like that is the point of Inside 8. Mom told us to answer the door. Is to like, you have to interact with it. Like you can't just, it doesn't exist in a vacuum. You can't read the results and like, whoa, I know so much about myself. Like you have to interact with the results to get something out of it. Okay, we have to go. Happy Friday. Have a great weekend. We'll see you next week. If you haven't taken the test yet, go take it, interact with it, and tell me what happens. Okay, bye.